Today we're looking at our permaculture food forest in 2023, when we erased our entire previous garden and started again from scratch, putting in swales and berms. Subscribe and stay tuned for more episodes from the food forest from 2023, when we were putting in lots of plants and building it up from scratch. And lots of content from this year, 2024, when we put in lots more perennial vegetables, we dig a nature wildlife pond, and we show you how to propagate and create more food for free.
Welcome back to the food forest. Our first chore was to dig up some of our older plants from the food forest version 1, move them out of the way before we put the swales in. There was a lot of measuring to plan out where the swales were going to be before Digger Dave arrived. Had a lot of help from our friends Mickey, Paul and Dave, helping us clear our first version of our food forest. Let's dig a Dave. So what's very exciting about the new series and tonight's episode is there are many channels showing food forests and fruit forests, but very few, if any, showing the journey from inception. So that's what we're going to take you on, a journey to build our food forest from day zero, which is today.
You can follow along with the journey and watch us as we learn through trial and error how to build it up and get it growing. We've done lots of research, haven't we? We've used YouTube and books and so on, so we have a bit of an idea. And we used year 1 as one of our permaculture principles is about observing the land. And we did that to some extent, but we also spent a lot of time, we tried growing things and then observed how that went. So we now know how the sun moves, where the wind prevails from, what happens during drought, because that's what the main thing we dealt with last year. And then we can put all of that knowledge into practice this year, day 1.
It's very exciting.
Yeah.
So things that we did learn, as Missy mentioned, we had a terrible drought. We had nearly 4 months of the year where we had no water in our well. And we thought we'd planned effectively with 10,000 litres in our IBCs, but it was not effectively planned, and we ran out of water very quickly and we had to let a lot of our plants die. But the good news is it was a year to find out what worked and what didn't work.
So hopefully, fingers crossed, with the way that we're planning out the food forest as well, which is all about water retention, hopefully we'll be all right this year. It's down here in the garden, things are all change. We've used our whole first year here as a bit of a test. So we got things growing, we were so excited to have vegetables and herbs and all sorts. But everything we knew was just a bit of a gamble, see what happens. We found out where the sun moves, where the shade moves, where in the different soils plants thrive, where they grow, where they fail, where the prevailing winds come through, and what drops out of the sky. So now that we have all that information, we're going to rip everything up and start again. All of these logs that we've left as path markers, they're all coming out. We're going to stack them over up at the top somewhere and let them dry out, turn them into firewood. And then we're going to mark out where we think swales would go. We're going to work out where the contours are, because swales need to be level. And then we're going to dig 1, 2, possibly 3 swales down here.
And in today's video, day 0, after we clear the garden on day 1, we get our swales in. So we're hoping by combining water storage, rainwater catchment, our 97,600 litres in our reservoir, and
what?
with our swales and berms.
And using no-dig practices as well down there in the garden, which is another good way of keeping water in your soil. Hopefully we'll have just a huge amount of food coming out of our food forest. We've got so many plants, haven't we? All the different plants, the herbs, the trees, the fruit bushes.
And it'll be exciting to follow along to see what happens this summer. Obviously the summer is a little way off yet, but will we have another drought? And if we do the things that we're putting in place now and today get us through the summer?
I look forward to finding out.
So do I. Follow with us on our exciting journey of swales, berms and permaculture.
Hey!
Woohoo! So hopefully we can inspire and influence some of you, be it in Portugal, Spain or England or wherever you might be living, to put swales and berms in to help with the management of your garden. It's not just a benefit in drought countries. Anywhere that has a slight slope. It was originated thousands of years ago, probably in Morocco. It was used by the Egyptians and the Incas, and it's a great way, or not a forgotten method of farming, but certainly it's coming back in big force now, isn't it? A lot of people getting into permaculture and a lot of people putting in swales and berms. So follow on the journey and see how we get on. And as always, thanks very much for watching.
Yep, I'll see you again soon. Bye.